story, then it's okay.
Well, that's why it's called taking back the sky. They're trying to change the narrative, like they weren't shitting on people for years for pointing to the sky. Now they're like, wait, it's our turn to point at the sky.
So I just wanted to point out, this is something that the celestial sphere is something that
I just
everyone
think it's
uses.
funny when you look around and you see these massive structures that humans have built on Earth, from long ass tunnels that are miles and miles underground to long ass bridges, spans, that span like long stretches of land and everything. Do they really think that these top-notch, what do you call them, the people that, like these top-notch surveyors that work for these big billion-dollar corporations that build these big structures, does these guys really think that those guys don't know what they're doing, or that they got all their measurements completely wrong, or they don't understand what they're doing when they're like top professionals in their field
everything is just a
that's taking the measurements to build these big structures that we build all around the world?
We'll turn it. Here's our wonderful.
That's what I don't understand. It's like they just throw all that out.
Latitude dependent. There we go.
Right, but like on a local scale like that, the surveyor isn't doing necessarily the same thing that a land surveyor does for a geodesic surveying.
Here we are.
Yeah.
At the equator.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Both poles optically converging on the side.
That's what I was thinking.
Here's just a
when Whitsitt was talking about that last night, or I think it's Whitsitt when he was going on about that, and I was thinking, no, when you build something on a smaller scale, like if you just build a skyscraper or you build a factory building or something, you do lay it out like you're on a flat Earth, because the ground is, to start with, is usually leveled flat. And whatever's built on it is built flat.
Yeah, you generally make a level plane, and then like you'll notice that like the ground curves away from that level plane with like hills and bumps, land topography depending on how big it is. But it's not like they have to build the building with a curve in it. They don't need to do that because it's like cutting off the top of a mountaintop. Yeah, it was pointy, but now it's flat across the top.
Yeah.
There's no curvature there.
Yeah, so if you're just building something the size of a factory building, obviously you don't take the curve into effect. You flatten the ground out flat and build it like you're on a flat Earth. Just because it's the simplest way of doing it, and it works.
Yeah, but even if you take a ball and you put dirt on top of it, and then fucking cut a level plane in that, there's no curvature there either. Fuck.
But like in West Virginia, when they cut train tunnels that are 2.5 miles long through the mountain, and they have to come out on the other side of the mountain in a very precise place in order for the train tracks to continue on. Things like that, they have to take in the curvature because you're so long. You know what I mean? You're stretching out there so far. And it's certain things like there's certain bridges that they have built that span long spans. And when you start getting into several miles long, you probably do have to take in the curve. But Whitsitt acted like that because they don't take the curve into effect when they build, say, a factory, that means the Earth is flat. No, that just means that they leveled the ground off flat and built a square building on it.
So that's my buddy Killian. That's kind of his argument, because he does drafting for buildings. Like he does the blueprints for all the buildings. Like he knows, level and all that. Like that's kind of his claim to fame. I'd be interested to get a construction guy in there who takes his diagrams and then explains that they need to make a level. It's not like they just take the building, and because the building's level and put on the ground, they have to make the ground level first.
Yeah. I don't know. We understand that. I just don't understand how other people don't understand that. So that's I guess what gets me.
Imitates what you would see
I don't know.
Stars. This is the only way to emulate stars. This is the only
can't get through to everybody.
Right?
Trouble, Gary came back. If you want to play that video for him, I don't know if Gary you're able to interact, but Trouble is going to play your video. It'd be cool if we could get a behind the scenes from you about it.
Observer-based grids work. In Stellarium, you have the azimuthal grid, which is observer-based, has to be personalized, and that's the only way you can
But
compare
Trouble
it.
also did.
Otherwise,
I think she,
where you
I think she's gonna be away for another 20 minutes or something.
Would appear.
Yeah, 'cause I'm in the middle of cooking my
Yeah,
dinner and
everyone
getting
should
my
be
lunch
aware
ready
of
for
what
tomorrow.
the model is that you use before you want to laugh at the model that's going to replace it. That's better.
Thursdays are my big days, so a little bit early. I like to have all
So
my
for the
stuff ready
part
so I don't
here,
have
just
to do it in the
put it all
morning.
together, just to
You're a
roll it
meal
all into
prepper.
one,
What do you
just to
got?
get
What do you got
best sort
planned
of
for lunch?
visualization, understanding
Actually,
how
I
the
was going to have
celestial
flank
sphere
steak tonight,
works,
but
utilizing lateral movement to
my wife
move and
bought
show you
these the other
stars
day,
and
and then
precess and all those things. Let's go to
but I don't know what time
the
she's coming
flat
home.
Earth
She's a
model,
nurse,
which
and
will
it's always
also be the
different,
flat Earth
right?
dome model.
Yeah.
So sometimes they have to stay
Let's see
late, and
here.
sometimes they
We
get a little
have
early.
exactly what we're
She left her
talking
phone
about.
at home
So
because when
a
I texted her
personal
earlier to see what
observer-based
time it
celestial
was done,
sphere that
I
follows
heard it
the
go off
observer.
in
This would emulate
her bathroom.
something that is 3959 across, right?
So
So
I
this
was
is
like,
not to
okay,
scale.
so I don't know what
Still
time to
working
make
on
it.
portraying that to
You know,
scale.
you want
Let's
it.
get rid
So I
of
thought I'm just going to make a
this
hamburger for
and
myself
all
tonight.
these wonderful things, and we'll just look at the
Keep it simple.
stars, right? So we have stars that precess.
I'll have
So
the
if this
flank steak
observer,
tomorrow.
say, moves, right, then that would
How do you heat your
force
food up while you're out on the
these
field there,
stars to
or do you
precess
just eat it
laterally,
cold?
right? So see how this is moving? You see
They
how this
do
is
have a microwave at my last stop, and that's about when I want to eat anyhow.
I think we
If I
lost him
want
again.
something hot, I'll heat it up in there. But generally, I'll just
You there, Shane?
bring something that I don't need to heat up,
Right.
like a sandwich or something. You know,
Anyone there?
something
Yeah,
because
just
a
waiting
lot
for
of times I
Shane to
don't
step
have
on.
I'm
time
so
to
glad
actually
I'm
sit
here.
down and have a lunch. Usually,
Right.
I'm eating on the go. You know, if I'm moving from one set
I'm
of
still
quails to
live, by the
another.
way. So
I'm driving
boopity
my pickup
boopity
over there. I
boppity, fill
grab
in
my
the
sandwich,
skibbity
take 2 or 3
boppity.
bites.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Dude, this
And
thing
get
is
back to
straight
work.
fire.
They don't like to leave
Sorry
the
to stop
cows
the whole
locked
thing.
in.
hmm
So
Nobody likes
when you get there,
what do
you
they call it?
have to get it
Background
done.
noise
You
or
ever you ever gotten done eating a sandwich and then realize you had cow
is
shit on your hands?
More than once.
nobody likes white noise from. Oh, there he is.
No, I usually check my hands,
Yeah.
make sure they're fairly clean, and
Think
if my
Shane.
sandwich
Yeah.
is wrapped in foil, I will leave it in the foil and just peel the
hmm
foil back a little bit. But,
Yep,
There he is.
yep.
yeah, I mean, it's
Double
not that I've
disconnect.
never done that, because I
Double
have.
disconnect.
So.
Hasn't
Yeah,
reconnected
I gotta wear
yet.
gloves more
There
at
we
work because I
Oh,
go.
work
no
with
worries.
metal and shit. I get like this nitrous
Dude, it'll be. I
oxide
think
all over my hands,
almost
and
ready. All right,
like I don't
should be good now.
wash my hands. So I gotta start being more
Dome model.
conscious about that.
We
That shit ain't
here
good to
we
eat.
have
You want to
exactly
see the.
what we're talking
You
about.
would
So
never see
a
it 'cause you're not in this
personal
industry, but
observer-based
they have
celestial
animals
sphere that
die,
follows
cows
the
die,
observer.
right?
This
They
would
Yeah.
just like
emulate
humans.